Hello YouTubers and welcome to another Doctor Who action figure review. In my latest action figure review, I shall be taking a look at the Stolen Earth set, which consists of 4 figures. Now, you may be wondering, well, where is the 4th figure? Well, the 4th figure in this set, which is the 10th Doctor, in his normal pinstripe suit, which he often wore, I gave as a gift to my girlfriend, the Determined Artist, as she is a massive fan of the 10th Doctor, as am I. So I thought I'd give it her as a gift, as it's her favourite Doctor and it's my favourite Doctor, and she's had that now for nearly 3 years. So just to tell you that if you're wondering why the 10th Doctor is not in this review, then that is why. If you want to check out the review of that, then check out the Determined Artist's channel. I'll put it in the description below. But the other 3 figures I still have, and of course they are all Dalek based, because the Stolen Earth featured the Daleks, as did the second part, Journey's End. This story is met with mixed reception with Whovians. A lot like it, a lot dislike it. I can see where they're coming from, but personally, I really like this story. It's one of my favourites, although it does have a few moments which are a bit silly, and you look back at it and you think, yeah, that was a bit bad, like the ending of the story, for example. But I won't spoil the ending if you've not seen it, but I may have spoilt it because Davros is in the story, and Davros is the main highlight of this set. So, first of all, let's take a look at this Dalek, which is basically a Crucible Dalek. It's basically a normal 2005 bronze Dalek, and I've reviewed a few of those before in past reviews. Again, if you want to have a look at those reviews, then check out other reviews I've done on my action figure playlists, under the new series playlist. Basically, this is just your normal bronze Dalek. I mean, you got your writing underneath the eye, and the whole body is completely the same. But there is a couple of differences to note. First of all, the eye stalk and both of the weapons, regardless if that was a plunger, they've been downscaled and they're actually smaller now, and I think this is a lot better and they look more accurate, because before they were all thick, but now it's just more thinner, and I think it really looks more authentic. Yeah, and I think it was a good move for character options there, and basically this happened at the same time as when the classics started coming out, like the classic Daleks, which I've recently reviewed again. If you want to have a look at them, have a look at my classic action figure reviews. So yeah, the most notable difference on this, though, is the arm, the claw arm, and basically that is how they looked on board the Crucible, which is like the mothership of all of the Daleks in this story. And if I could tell you what this weapon could do, then I would, but I don't, because all it does, it just moves around, and that is it really. Maybe it just uses it to press buttons and stuff. I have no idea, but it's just a normal variation really. I mean, the articulation on this is the same. It does do a 360, but if you can hear that, it sounds very, very squeaky, so I don't know why. The articulation is a bit iffy on this set, but it's still good. Good figure to have, and yeah, nice addition to the collection nice on your shelf. So next figure I shall be taking a look at is the Supreme Dalek. Now this Dalek is one of my favourite types of Daleks. Firstly because red is my favourite colour, and secondly because the whole pattern around the neck of the Dalek is really, really unique. Something that never featured on the Daleks prior to this story. And also it has a third headlight, something that is completely new. I didn't even realise this till I actually got the figure. Unfortunately, you may be able to see here, there's a lot of paint rub here. Now the reason for this is the articulation is really bad, and I took it for granted. I tried moving the whisk and it just popped off. So super glued it back on. So now the gun doesn't move at all. I mean, it moves a bit, but if I try and move it, it'll just snap off again. The plunger, it moves a bit. It's really squeaky, but there's quite a bit of paint rub, and sometimes it just goes back down there on its own like that. So a bit of a disappointment in terms of articulation, but the head can still do a 360 degree turn, and the eye can move up and down like normal Daleks can. The eye is not removable, by the way, like the classic Daleks. And the symbol under here is also different. You've got this circle with a line and the circle on the other side. Really good. And I think the paint is good apart from there, but I think that's because of the super glue. It like bled onto the gold. And the hemispheres are all gold, like a lighter gold to the bronze Dalek, and the fender is a little bit darker than the bronze Dalek because that's like a dark green and this is more black. So one of my favourite types of Daleks. Articulation is a bit naff, but again, still good to have on my shelf. Really good figure. Now the final figure in the set, which I'll be taking a look at, is Davros. Now this is the first version of Davros which was released as figure form, and it is really good. The detailing looks really good. It looks like how he did in the story. Got all the buttons here and all the dust down there because that's how much I've used it recently. I'll just get rid of all the dust, and yeah, it's a really good representation of the on-screen counterpart. The jacket is really nice. You've got these things here. They like fasten the jacket up together. Really nice detail. Got all the creases on his jacket as well. A bit silly really how down there is just blank, but oh well. Also the braces on the shoulders are really good, and the back also really good, but it's a bit like wonky if you know what I mean. It looks a bit out of place, but the head, like all this on his head, is really good, and the eye painted blue, which is correct, and his face is really, really nicely detailed, and more detailed than the classic variants of Davros, which is obviously correct because this is the most detailed version of Davros we've got. And his hand is metal, which is correct because that's how it was in the story, because he tapped his hand like that on his chair a lot, and obviously his real hand got blown off in Revelation of the Daleks, and you got all the buttons here, and they're just made out of a rubbery material, and yeah, I really like the buttons as well, and it just goes all the way around his chair. Lots and lots of buttons. I think it's the most buttons he's ever had on his chair. And here it just connects to the lower half of the body, which is basically, I think it's the same sculpt as the normal Dalek, but obviously it's painted black. The hemispheres are painted a nice silver, and I must say the paint job on this is much better, and the fender is painted black as well, and like normal Daleks, they move on 3 wheels, and the good thing about this is it actually says BBC Terror Nation 1975, which was the first time Davros ever appeared in the show, which was in Genesis of the Daleks, one of my favourite stories. Now, the articulation is quite good. The head just moves side to side. It can't really do a 360 because of the back up off the chair. The arm can do a... In fact, yeah, the arm can do a 360 degree turn, but I try to avoid that because it doesn't need to, and the biceps are also articulated. They go 360 degrees, and the elbows can move as well, and they do a 360 degree turn. So the detailing on the arm alone is really good, and obviously the other arm doesn't move because he can only use one arm because he's paralysed. And he can just move his hand around as well, so if you want to pose him like that, then that is great. But if you just want to pose him with his hand on the control panel, then that is also good. And yeah, that's all I have to say really. So really good figures in this set. I was really excited when I first picked this up back in 2008. Really good set. I highly recommend you pick it up if you're a massive fan of Daleks, and especially if you're a massive fan of the Stolen Earth and Journey's End, as I know some of you are, and I know that some of you aren't, but nevertheless this is a good set, and I think it's one of the best sets that Character Options have ever done. Nothing like nowadays, because there's hardly any sets that come out. They're only coming out as exclusive, which is good because the sets coming out are good, but retailer wise no sets are coming out, and that's a bit of a disappointment, but we can't get everything we want. So thank you very much for watching this action figure review of the Stolen Earth set, which contains the Supreme Dalek. Davros is played by Julian Bleach, and the Crucible Dalek. So I hope you are having a good day in this very nice summer, and take care. I hope you enjoyed the review. Please comment, rate, and subscribe to my channel, The Obsessed UV95, and see you in my next action figure review.